All right, so let's talk about this. So, as you guys know, DMX is no longer here. And some years ago, DMX was on some type of show. Uh, they had been to therapy and all of these different things that had situations that was tearing up the personal life with his family, his former lady and mother of his children, and with his children. He was even on a show at one point where the woman brought things up that he didn't want to talk about. She actually had his son there, and his son came out. Now, this was all an attempt to get DMX to stop doing the things he was doing that was creating problems in his family, to get on the right path. There's a lot that people said about it. There was people that was against it. There was people that was, for it. Okay. None of that matters, because none of our opinions are going to change what people decide to do. And what's done already is done. So, with that being the case, there's a lot of people now in this generation that don't even remember that those things happened or even know. So, let's talk about category number one. Okay, we got three of them. First category is going to be when your family speaks out. So as I said, the family spoke out before. They talked about him doing drugs. They talked about him, being like scary for the family to be around. Now, when the family speaks out, they are there. So firsthand eyewitness accounts of what's going on. Okay, the victims. Okay, they're the ones on the other end. When his son is saying the only way our relationship is going to work, you have to be sober. Coming from the family members who are there, who are the victims, who are on the other side. For anybody to think they have the right to dispute what they go through, what they feel. If you ever been through anything in your life and you had people saying, this is what you should have did, or this is what I would have did, this is what I think should have happened. If you were victimized of something, if you were neglected, whatever it may be, who's going to tell you you shouldn't feel the way that you feel? Because they show favor to the person that you're accusing. Okay? Okay, this is a personal matter. This isn't a situation where people are there to know what's going on. This is family. And a lot of times I feel like people just say way too much. Now, anytime any one of us as human beings go through anything, the world doesn't care. There'll always be someone that think that they have the answers for what everyone else should do, what they shouldn't do. And not so much because of right and wrong, but just because of everybody wants to be heard. Which leads me to my next category. When fans think they know. I heard a couple of people complaining about this, right? And here's my thing. First off, none of these fans was there to know what happened. These fans don't understand the pain. They don't understand the effects that what was going on between this family had on anybody else, because DMX is a star. They can care less about the family. They can care less about the baby mom. They can care less about anything. So people were saying, oh, they shouldn't come out and do this. They're trying to destroy him. Why would they do that? I agree with, I've always been the type of person, my feelings is that my family business is none of your business. Okay? There's certain things I don't mind speaking about, but nothing to bury my family or nothing like that. But that's me, and I don't really think that anybody, that's me. I wouldn't do it. Okay. Like I said, it's nobody else's business. There are certain things I don't mind speaking about, but at the same time, fans are full of shit because fans pick and choose who should get respect and who should be protected. A perfect example is a couple of months ago, Clarissa Shields' family decided they wanted to take shots at her, and they're talking about even from this woman being a kid, things that they claim happened or that she took in or whatever. Well, there was no protection. That just goes to show you the incompetence of her guardians. And if you saw her movie, if you've heard her story, you know that Clarissa Shields been through a lot. But because people show so much hatred to this black woman, it's like, oh, it's okay. They were all taking, and let me say, a lot of these same channels that's sitting here being hypocritical, because for DMX, shh, but for Clarissa Shields, oh, do tell. They said this about her, they said that about her, and they're passing judgment based on what was said. Somehow DMX family they're all liars, and you guys are experts on it because what? You were there. The fans say way too much. They think that they know because they're in fanboy mode. So they really don't give a shit if he did it or not. All they can care less that he did it. All they care about is, well, we like DMX and he's a legend. And you're too stupid, too immature to even understand that you guys are going in fanboy mode. Like I saw a video where this guy was talking about what I'm talking about right now, and you had idiots in the fucking comment section putting their top 10 favorite rappers. I'm like, you silly ass goofball. DMX, Tupac. I'm like, wow. What does any of this have to do with your top 10 favorite rappers? This is what I mean about the dumb, the fanboyism, the ignorance. You're talking about a family who is speaking about what it was like being in the house with him being high, him being drunk or whatever was going on in his life, right? Him admitting to being a drug addict, him admitting that he liked getting high, right? But somehow, the fanboyism is so powerful that it's like, as I said, we don't care what happened, what he did. All we care about is that we like his music. And basically, we're going to take his side regardless. Now, I don't believe in the side taking stuff. I feel like whatever happened is none of our business, right? But we talk about certain things. I'm not here to talk about what he did, what I think he did or didn't do. I know what he said. I know what they said. And I know that they have these conversations open in the past. So for people who see it for the first time, no, this is not anything new. But for DMX, when he was here, he didn't deny. Okay? He didn't deny the things that his fanboys was denying. You, as a fan, saying, nah, I don't believe that. But then he's face to face with the kid's mom. They're sitting on some therapy, whatever the show was. And basically, she's giving her side of things. He's not denying things. He admitted to cheating, even in his music. He admitted to lying, making up stuff. Okay, and pretty much, regardless to what he says, the fans say different. These are what you call toxic people. Okay? You're going to tell him that regardless to what he's agreeing to, that he's wrong. He didn't actually do it. Okay. Throughout history, we've seen so many different things. I mean, you guys have no problem believing 50 Cent is no good to his son, right? You know, it's weird how, like I said, how you pick and choose. I remember, maybe about 10 years ago, and I can remember I was sitting at my computer one day, and I'm sitting up there. I was actually downloading some music, and then I was watching some YouTube videos, and the video popped up, and it was a female saying, Big Daddy Kane is a deadbeat dad. I know his oldest son, and his oldest son said blah, blah, blah. And now, the thing was, I'm sitting here going, what's this woman's purpose for even saying what she said? This isn't coming from Kane's son, regardless to what might be true or might not. I don't know. I'm not even digging into that. But what I'm saying is, this isn't even family. This isn't even anybody in the equation. This is somebody saying that she know his oldest son, and he's a deadbeat dad, and he's this, he's that. Listen, any one of us can have accusations thrown on us. I've had people say certain things, lying out their ass, and then when the truth comes out, it's like, oh shit. Some people may never learn what the truth is and go to their grave thinking, believing some nonsense, but is it about what people think? I mean, let's look at it this way, right? Any one of you sitting here right now picking a side. You're picking the side of the person that you think you know out of the group, okay, out of the family, which is DMX. And again, I wouldn't put my family under the microscope like that. And no, that's just me. And so I can relate to anybody who says I don't think it's right. I get that. But when you start trying to decide what's true and what's not, that's where you're overstepping your boundaries. And then two, if you disagree with what is going on, you think that it's wrong and it shouldn't happen, then you're being a hypocrite, because why would you put it on your channel for the world to see? Because you're monetizing your channel. You're making money off of these videos. And if this is something you feel is so disgusting and this is something that people should never do, you think you showing this video is going to make somebody go, oh yeah, you're right, that's not a good look, I won't do that. No, you're giving it life. You're letting it breathe. If there's a follow-up video and another video and another video, you're going to go from defending DMX, saying how his family's not doing the right thing, to making money off of every video that you make about them. So even though you don't agree with it, you're one of the channels who's pumping air into the lungs of this whole thing. Keep it going. Let's keep it breathing. That's what you're doing. Otherwise, you wouldn't. This is why I'm not here to talk about what like I said, I'm not here to, oh, I think he did this. No, I can tell you what I remember being said in front of a camera, what was done in front of a camera, which leads me to my third category. When your actions work against you. There's a time where you're on top of the world. Everybody's sharing your name. And whether it happens right away, whether you stand a test of time as long as you were alive, then you're going like DMX is. At some point, people will find things to talk about. One of the things I said that turned me off about all of the people that spoke about DMX when he was alive, well, when he died, rather, is all the people that was here. I didn't hear not one person say, yo, DMX is a good father. DMX was a family man, or yo, DMX realized he was doing a lot of things wrong. He realized that he was, definitely needing a change in his life. Definitely needed changes. He stopped doing drugs, all that. He definitely, he changed. I saw a video of him holding, I guess, one of his youngest baby, whatever, and that was a moment where he looked like a proud dad or whatever, right? It's a quick video, okay? But I never heard anybody talk about that. I never heard anybody say anything. DMX we talked a lot. We used to build, man. And dude had knowledge, and he started to see life different. No, all I heard was stories about, DMX is crazy. I remember he stole a car. I remember he dressed up like a cop and pulled somebody over. He got locked up for that. I remember, him and his boys jumped some dude. Everything was crime. Everything was something that he ended up in jail. The very stories that you, these are the stories, part of the stories, some of the stories that was hurting his family. You guys don't care about these family members of these, celebrities that you guys bow down to and worship. But think about this. Do you think it's cool for a kid to go to school and everybody know that his father is in and out of jail? Or the mom is out here doing whatever with this person, that person? Do y'all think that it's cool? Do you think that when you guys are sitting here making your videos as content creators and you're sitting up here saying, well, if it was me, or I think this, and do you guys pay attention that it's not about you? It is about the family. You're gonna lose sleep because of what happens in DMX family. I mean, you're a fool if you do. But the people involved, you don't know what effects that this has. Well, your daddy's locked up. What did he do? Well, he was impersonating the cop and he got arrested. Your daddy's locked up. What happened? They jacked somebody, stomped them out, and stole their car. Your daddy's locked up. You understand? Who are you to try to speak on behalf of any one of them? But this is where your stories backfire. Because all y'all focused on, and what you should be focused on, is the music, right? But because y'all act like y'all have a personal connection to all of these people, y'all overlook the fact that these very things, like I said before, are some of the very things that was bringing pain to his family. If it wasn't him and it was just some dude, some random person, like for example, a couple of months ago, they had a guy who pretended to be an ICE agent and broke in somebody's house and got the shit beat out of him. Okay? Would you say good for him? That's good. Okay then. So, again, this is exactly what I'm saying. Nobody had anything good to say about him. Nothing was positive. In their minds, they thought they were saying something good. They thought it was humorous. So in other words, he was doing a bunch of criminal things that you guys found to be funny. You know what his son said about him? His son said everybody that was around DMX was nothing but a yes man. Like they were scared of him. They were scared to say what they should have said. So everything he did, they just agreed to it. Nobody could say, yo, dog, cool the fuck out, man. What the fuck is wrong with you? No, everything is, let's agree with him. We heard Mike Tyson say the same thing. I told a story before when Mike Rashid was on his podcast. And Mike Rashid said that he remembered being at one of Mike Tyson's training camps. And he said he was really pissed off because Mike was bullshitting. He said it right there in front of Mike. He said Mike was bullshitting around. He's having a terrible training camp. He's like, and everybody like, yeah, champ, yeah, Mike looking good. And he said it was pissing him off because Mike wasn't doing shit that he was supposed to do. But you know what Mike Tyson responded with? That's the thing about being the boss. As long as they knew that I was the boss, right? And look, through all the tragedies, all the things that happened in Mike Tyson's life, y'all still treated Mike Tyson like he's a big-ass baby. Oh, they take advantage of Mike. They do this to Mike. Wait. When is Mike going to take accountability for what he does? When are you guys going to understand he needs to take accountability for what he does? So when you guys sit and baby him and praise, and then Mike Tyson goes, I don't like my old self. It's like the things that I did. And of course his answers flip-flop because he's high half of the time. Okay? But at the end of the day, that's what happens when you have yes men around you. You've heard people like Ice-T, different other, people say Tupac should have had people around him that could take control, that really could stay with Pac. Cool the fuck out, man. The same thing. Everybody around Tupac was a yes man. Whatever Pac did, you understand what I'm saying? Your actions come back to you. Do you guys know how many people is incarcerated right now because they did some shit on video? They said a bunch of shit on video. They, and people see it and they use it against you in the court of law. Right now, like I did the story on Geechee Gotti. Geechee Gotti, what you think happens when they play these videos showing him and his people admitting to robbing pharmacies? Y'all take his side, right? This is the whole thing. See, these entertainers can do no wrong in your life, but you in here taking people's heart medicine, taking people's whatever pills that they need, everything you out here robbing. So what happens if somebody really was in need, they need something right away, and they go to the pharmacy that they always go to and it's not there anymore. They get a prescription to go over there just to find out it's not there. But bottom line, the dude committed a fucking crime. They on his fucking camera counting money and bragging about it multiple times. Because I want the world to know you niggas is just acting, just rapping. I really do this shit, right? And this right there, your own actions come back to haunt you. And DMX's case, It was nothing that nobody didn't know about. All the conspiracies about how he died and what happened and who. This is what people do, and y'all go on and you go on and you go on. There's so many different celebrities that we know about, things that they were accused of, things that happened between them and their families, and a lot of you have no problem with saying that they were scumbags or they were no good, and then it's like the similar or same things that a DMX or a Tupac or anybody that you care for could do, and then somehow it's okay if they do it. Now, whatever he did and didn't do, whatever, I mean, if there's any lies being told, if there's any exaggerations or whatever, if you guys think that everything that comes out of DMX mouth or any of these other celebrities' mouths because you're fans, you're a fool. I mean, the fact that a grown man pretends to be a police officer and pulls somebody over, all the crazy shit. Now, was he sober when he did this? Was he high? What was the case? And when people do dumb shit and you say, yeah, but he had a drug problem. Okay, cool. Whoa. There's people I know personally that had drug problems. Okay? And I know the type of shit that they was doing. Stealing money, all types of shit. In fact, if you remember, well, let me before I even say that, they do all of these things. And it's like, let me give you a perfect example. There's someone, two different times, two different people, let's put it like this, people that I know very well. It was two different times, right, where a person says, hey, such and such, I talked to such and such, and she said, if you lend me $50, or whatever, right, the drug addict price back in the day was always 20, but yeah, she'd give it back to you, this and this and that. Now, what he was thinking was, okay, if I can get this money, when I get paid in 2 days, I'll be able to pay them back, and this person will never even know what happened. I lied on them, and the truth came out that person was lying. And the same exact thing happened with another person, right? And when the person came to me, what I said was, listen, I don't have cash on me. I said, but how soon do you need it? Person goes, what are you talking about? The money you asked such and such. He told you that? Okay, do you understand what I'm saying? And the whole thing is this: when a person want to get high, when they have these itches, these bad habits, do you understand what I'm saying? There's times where people will give their last to help you. Look, this is coming from my rent money. No, I swear, I promise. How many times have these people let you down? And now that person got to go borrow money from somebody because they was trying to help a drug addict. So my thing was, I would always do this with drug addicts. They come to ask, nah, I'm not giving you any money. What do you want? Well, I just want some food. Where do you want to go? Well, I want to, okay, let's go. Well, I was just going, well, I'm not going right this minute. I was just like, if you give me the money, I'll go later no. You do whatever it is you got to do. Now, when you're ready to go sit down and eat, you let me know. I wanted them to understand, I don't trust you. And out of love is why I help you. But I'm not going to put money in your hand so you can go buy drugs. And if you've never been through that, okay, you really need to shut up because you're speaking about things you don't understand. And the fact of the matter is, here's a guy who made a lot of money and constantly went and got in trouble. In jail, not in jail, all this kind of just crazy shit fucked his life up in a lot of ways. And, in fact, when he was supposed to start, getting back into the movie scene and doing all these different things, you got to understand, when you have a problem, when the professionalism is not there, when you can't hold your end of the bargain up, people are not going to work with you. So making excuses doesn't change any of that. And in fact, I don't think it was the Breakfast Club. It might have been Angie Martinez. I don't remember. But I'm thinking my mind is saying Angie Martinez. But anyway, where he had his interview, and this was after the situation where he was being interviewed and they brought his son out. And they asked him then, okay, now my thing was this. I get this is what I didn't agree. I think it was that Gayle King chick that interviewed him the first time. What I didn't agree with is this. Okay. The way she brought his son into the picture, we get what she was trying to do. Okay, or at least seemingly. The thing with Gayle King and like Oprah, they only do this kind of shit to black men. And it's like, honestly, I feel like when they do this, they're just trying to destroy black men. They're trying to help to like really put a nail in the coffin on them, not so much help them. X played himself on that show because he started crying, talking about his grandmother, and he was all, and then Gayle King was just staring at him. Are you high right now? No, and but it's like he didn't get it. She didn't want to hear whatever pain he felt, because here's what this goes to now. We're not really here to hear about you. You talk about you and your music all the time, right? We know about you, your family, your son, the relationships. What I felt was screwed up about that was because, and not so he could have a chance to defend himself, to cover up lies, anything, no. But you still, Ian, his kid's son wasn't a baby, no. But you brought his son on here. And whether it's embarrassment or whatever it may be, if anything could get you to snap out of this, I'm a drug addict, I'm out here fucking money up. They can brag about how many albums he sold, 5 back-to-back albums that went #1, that went platinum, and then you ended up with nothing to show for it, right? So the people that love you, that's reaching out to you, you don't want to hear that shit. So when your words out of your own mouth, I like getting high. I like, you know what I'm saying? I do drugs. Remember, his father told him that he loves him unconditionally. And he told him that he loved him unconditionally as well. And he said, no, that's a condition. You telling me the only way that the relationship could work is if I stop doing drugs, right? He said, that's a condition. I like doing drugs. I like getting high. This is what he said. This wasn't no misquote. This is what DMX said. So if it's a choice between having a relationship with your family, stop getting high. Well, fuck it. I'm going to choose to continue to get high. That came out of his mouth. Y'all can say and baby him all you want and make all the excuses up you want, but that was his choice. These are the types of things when they start doing documentaries. See, you got people that's going to suck you off and talk all this shit and how great you was or something, but there's somebody that's going to pull all that negative shit, all that negative footage, and show that side of you that people want to act like never existed, right? And because you got so many people that do screwed up shit, they will, well, ain't nobody human. I'm perfect. We all human and blah, blah, blah. And they will try to make excuses because, hey, they do the same type of shit. So when you really look at it for what it is, right? All of this stuff is not information that people have to dig up. This was stuff that was said and done. And I just felt like, because I don't trust Gayle King's her motive with anything. So she looked like she was disgusted with what he was saying and doing. And I remember looking at him like, man, you playing yourself. Because he went into all of that crying and talking about how, he lied to his grandmother and how it hurt him so bad because, right, his grandmother really loved him. And so he admitted to being a liar. He admitted to being, neglective and cheating and not treating his woman right. He already admitted to all of that. So I don't know what it is about his fans that decide that they're going to say something completely different from what he says. And then one thing that stood out to me as well, that he said, and this was the interview that I'm saying might have been with Angie Martinez. I'm not sure if it was her or not. But when they asked him about that episode, that little, show where he went on and how they brought his son out, he said, how did he feel when his son told him the only way this relationship is going to work is he got to stop doing drugs. He got to sober up, right? He got to get help. And he said, I want to knock him out there. I want to smack him out there, right? Okay. He showed anger. So he went from hugging his son on the show, telling him how much he loved him and how much he meant to him, to saying on the show how he wanted to knock him out the chair, right? So in other words, you gonna go along with this to set me up, and right? Now, I can tell you this, there's a lot of shit a lot of y'all talk about if it was you, but you didn't come from that. And then, true, a lot of people don't have home training. A lot of y'all sensitive. Y'all little sissy motherfuckers, and y'all get y'all feelings about every little thing. And you don't know how to admit when you're wrong. My whole thing is, X is not here, but when he was here, anything that could have happened to keep their family together. Because even if you and the baby mom, which to me is crazy, because you don't even hear people say wife no more. It's all my baby mother. Like people could be married and they still reference each other as my baby mother or my baby daddy, not my husband or my wife, which is crazy. But the immaturity, man, and the bullshit is like people embrace it. So I look at this and it's like, even when the couples separate, which it kills me inside, because it's like, what was the purpose? Y'all just let's get together, go to the club, go out to the movie, just spend a little time, fuck, have kids, and then just separate. Because pretty much like that's just the way this shit goes. And then it's just like you're nothing but baby mamas and baby daddies, and you're not really teaching your sons and daughters a whole lot in a good way. Now, I don't know particularly what, how his kids was raised or who impacted them. I don't know that. But I'm saying this is what you see all the time. And then pretty much you still want to be in your kid's life. You got situations where people have the kids taken away from them. Okay? Since you don't want to be with me or whatever it may be. Bitch go out cheating, all kinds of shit, whatever. But you hop on a plane somewhere, you go fly somewhere far, you do all just so many things where somebody is kept away from their kids. Whereas you are there for your kids. You're there. Like you're there. Where are you though? So when you say, I like doing drugs, I don't want to stop doing drugs. I don't want to go get help. I don't need no help. This is the same guy that every single album, he has a prayer. And he's always talking about God. He told a story about how he got into something, somebody was shooting at him, and he said, God made the bullets do this. And I said, every time I hear people tell a story like that, it's like that story of you're being chased, somebody's shooting at you, and they emptied out 20 clips on you and missed every single bullet. And as soon as you said, thank you, God, you ran out in the street and got hit by a truck. So you can call it what you want. You can say it was God, it was this, it was that, but what is it in you that you're willing to change about yourself? And this is why people don't change for the better, because fans will support you no matter what you do, which means no matter how bad you're doing at something or how wrong you are, you will never feel that you have to change. Because you know what? The people that love you are not these fans. They can talk about that love. No, they know you. They know of you through your music, but they don't know you. And what happens is, what makes them feel good is what they resort to. So even if reading comments and reading everybody tell about how we love you, dog, we love you, dog, we love you, arf, arf, bark, bark, we love you, dog, we love you, dog, yo, you the GOAT, dog, right? That's what they go by. But the people that love them, like, is any one of y'all that's talking all this shit about the family, do y'all care about what mental state they're in, or what the effects of not having a good relationship with him? Are y'all there? Are y'all there some type of way financially? You're trying to look out for them? Like, okay, so shut up. This is my whole thing. And you're monetizing your channel by using a story that you guys claim is a bad one. So things that you say and do can come back to haunt you. And like I said, people just go pull your own videos and show you confessing things, admitting to things. The amount of times you've been arrested, what you've been arrested for, like all of these different things. And the way I see it is this. This ain't got shit to do with his music. This is personal stuff. And I'm not digging into his personal stuff. Everything I'm speaking about is stuff that we already know of. So anytime you idiots are going in comment sections putting the fucking top 10, I don't know how you dudes even look yourselves in the mirror, because you're not even men. You're little boys. There's nothing manly about that. Just sitting up there giving the top 10 of your favorite rappers, and the topic has nothing to do with favorite rappers. This has nothing to do with it, so you don't have to hear the word iconic, legendary, none of that bullshit. This is real life, and y'all don't know how to have these type of conversations. That's part of my point about the people that talk. It shows you who and what you are. We don't care about how many records he sold or how much money he made or didn't make. The whole point is all the success he found in his career, as far as from what I'm saying about it, is, you know, and what did he have to show for it? Lost pretty much everything and had to start from scratch when he came home. And he just couldn't leave the drugs alone. And when somebody tell you, I don't want to stop doing drugs, I like getting high, I like doing drugs, and yet somehow you think that when he gets high, he has the ability to, become a better person? No. So all that praying and God this and God that, but first off, you're a drug addict. And everybody knows this. It's nothing new. But then two, regardless to what people are saying out of fanboyism, this has nothing to do with you being no fucking fan. Nobody care. All you fans want to make it about you. Nobody give a fuck about how you feel. It ain't nothing about you. The reality is, he's gone. His family's still here. How they getting by, how they making it, I don't know. Okay, but I'm, you know, if this same exact story, if DMX, if this was the same story, other than he never became a rapper, and this story made it to the news or something, y'all would be like, that dude ain't shit, bum ass nigga. That's exactly what y'all would say about him, like y'all do other people. But y'all pick and choose who gets sympathy and who gets criticism. And in this situation right here, man, like, I don't know his family. His family don't seem to be the street type. They're a little bit on the nerdy side. Not making fun of him, just saying that they don't seem to have like his traits that, you know, I'm out in the streets and all this, you know, like talking about being a real nigga and whatever. You know, one thing I will say also is this: because they're still here and because of who their dad is, right? People would expect them to be like him. They would expect them to, but when you look at him being a rapper and all the platinum albums and all that, okay, see, that's what y'all look at. When somebody say you just like your father, or you like people will say that about me, oh, you act just like your father, but no, me and my dad, we have similarities because it's my dad, but I am a lot different from my dad. So different. And anybody that said that is always people who I'm not really around. So yeah, you look like your dad, you talk like your dad, or something happened, but personality, character, there's a lot of differences. Some similarities, but far more differences than there is similarities. So yeah, and it take people to be around you to see, like, nah, you are different from your dad. Do you understand what I'm saying? So my whole thing with that is, would you rather his sons be out here getting in trouble, getting arrested, doing drugs like he was doing? Or you don't know how to respect the fact that they're different from him? Why they're speaking out, I don't know. And I don't care. But the problem, bottom line is, none of y'all will be there. You claim you love X so much. I don't know how the fuck you niggas is soft, because I just can't even see myself telling no damn other grown, oh, I love you. I love you, DMX. y'all some weirdos, man, but seriously. But you guys say all that, but yet you want to talk shit about his family. And what you don't understand is there's enough material on his life to where if somebody is saying, hey, you know what, I'm thinking about doing a little docu-series with you guys, and you can say what you want to say, but it's like I said, you guys are selective with who gets the sympathy and who gets criticism. There's nothing you can do that's going to change any of that. If this was a one and done, okay, whatever. But whatever the history is with him and his family, none of us have no say-so on that. None of us have, you know, I know this. If you're not in your kids' lives, just being able to buy them some shit or being there to, you know, here and there for certain parties, but I don't love my kids enough to stop getting high, getting drunk, and being abusive, loud, abrasive, and like, you know, whether the abuse is physical or verbal, however, attitude, angry all the time. And it's the same dude that say, who the fuck want to be happy all the time? You know what I'm saying? People think he's soft, you know what I'm saying? Too busy trying to be a street dude. It's like I said about Mike Tyson, people talking about Mike Tyson living his best life. I said every video, you look at every single video when somebody said that, Mike is high as fuck. So somehow being sober is a corny thing, but being high out your mind is okay, cool, whatever. It is what it is, y'all. But I'm gonna leave this at that, and just something to think about. And we don't need to talk about his legacy, all this shit. It has nothing to do with that. Love your family. Don't take your family for granted. When you're no longer here, you're no longer here. And all that we should have, could have, did this and that, well, it's too late now. If he could work things out with his family and make things better, that wouldn't be something that, the world would know. Unless he decided the world should know. Because people know the hardships and things he went through, but I want people to see the end result that, we here. But that would mean he has to change. But the fact that he's DMX, you guys don't see it that way. A lot of you sit there with this, like I said, with this in a position on your knees with your mouth open. Y'all know how y'all do. That doesn't change anything either. So, you hear people talk about Michael Jackson's family and who did what and who was, all this stuff. But again, who, depending on who it is, depends on how you feel about what's being said. So if you don't really care about that person, you don't give a shit what they say. Again, y'all was sitting up here, and I said, damn, you know what's crazy? For Clarissa Shields to be a kid and have uncles or somebody trying to molest her, touch her, do whatever, but y'all was sitting up here just blah, blah, blah. Somebody had a video, I didn't watch the video. On the title, it said, the very satisfying downfall of Floyd Mayweather, right? Now, just think about what that person said. The very satisfying feeling. You mean to tell me that here's a dude, yeah, Floyd talked a lot of shit at one point, and, Floyd would, always showing, he's on a yacht. Okay, just because he's coming out of retirement, people saying he's broke. I don't know what that man has, and I don't pocket watch. I'm not a hoe. I'm not a bitch. I don't say anywhere about what another man has in his pocket. I'm saying him coming out of retirement, okay, it's official. He having this rematch with Manny Pacquiao and all that, but that doesn't mean he's broke. But even if he is, okay, whatever, why do you care? Why do you care? Why does it bother you? So for somebody to say the very satisfying, let's say that same person that made that video, let's say that somebody that they love very much died tomorrow. Let's say something happened. That person ends up in a bad accident and become a paraplegic. I guarantee you they'd forget about Floyd's situation. But this is what people do. They're so full of hate. But people that actually show hate, show racism and disrespect, somehow these motherfuckers will always overlook that like there's nothing we could do. We just a bunch of niggas that can't do nothing but what? Sit back and accept bullshit that people throw at us. So, yeah, I just wanted to get all of this out. And then, because, yeah, y'all gotta learn how to start having conversation without talking about what somebody accomplished and all that. Like, that's not the topic. Only idiotic fans think like that. These people sit down with certain people and none of that comes out their mouth because that's not what it's about. You go in the court of law, the judge ain't like, hey, X, man, I be bumping your shit to this day. Hey, but yo, hey. No. All that street hood shit and all the power they claim that they have out in the streets. And that's not like that. It's not like that. And you got a nerdiest judge in the world. You got a racist judge or whoever. And guess what? You still saying, yes, sir, yes, your honor. No, your honor. Yes, your honor, right? All of that bullshit. Anyways, if y'all think that it's so wrong what's happening, stop fucking giving the story life. Leave it alone. Let it go away. But the fact that you feel compelled to, I have to talk about it and complain about what they're saying. They got the right to speak and say whatever they're saying. He spoke and said a whole lot of shit. He talked about stuff that, like people that incriminate themselves. But then when somebody go and speak about what you're doing and saying they're getting their feelings when somebody is not taking their side. I just say all y'all should just grow up. And stop talking so fucking much. Because if you so against it, like I said, let the story die. But anything you hear about them, y'all gonna be ready to cover it. Because you're making money off your channels. So at the same time, you're being a huge hypocrite. It is what it is. And whatever it leads them to, that's their journey. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys. And at the end of the day, I said what I said.